In this lecture, I'm going to show you how to verify and install the Tor browser on a Linux computer. If you have a Windows or an Apple OS X system, then please go back to the previous lectures where I show how to do this in details for these operating systems. Only watch this lecture if you want to learn how to install the Tor browser on Linux. Otherwise, skip it and you won't lose any information. You can continue from the next lecture where I'm going to show you how to use the Tor browser. So, the instructions that I'm going to show you right now will work on most Linux distros like Fedora, Debian, and Kali, but I'm going to do it from Ubuntu because this is the most popular one. So, the first thing that you want to do is go to the Tor browser download page that I have right here, and I'm going to include its links in the resources of this lecture. You want to scroll down to where you have the downloads for all the operating systems, and this time we want to install it on Linux. So I'm going to go here to the right where it says Linux, and I'm going to download the first one because this is the English version. Now I have a 64-bit computer, so I'm going to click on the 64 bits, and this will allow me to download the Tor version for Linux for 64-bit computers. I've already downloaded this right here, as you can see in my downloads, so I'm going to cancel this. And once you have it downloaded, all you have to do is really extract it and run the binary that will run the browser for you. But before doing this, it's a really good idea to verify that the file that we just downloaded right here has not been modified as it was being downloaded. Because when you download something from the internet, it passes through a number of nodes and it can actually be modified by your internet service provider, by your network admin, or even by hackers if they manage to intercept the connection. So, what I want to do right now is verify that the file that I just downloaded did not get modified as it was being downloaded from the Tor website. To do this, we're going to use a signature file provided by the Tor developers. So as you can see on this page, each download has a SIG. This SIG stands for signature, and this is a file that is unique to this download, to the installer. It was generated by the developers when they packaged the installer, and it can be used to verify that the installer did not get modified since it was packaged by the developers. So, to verify the installer, the first step is to download its signature. So like I said, as you can see, each file has its own signature. I downloaded this file right here, so I'm going to download this signature in here. I'm going to right click the signature, save link as to save it, and I'm going to choose where I want to download it, and I'm going to keep it in my downloads. So I'm going to click on save, and as you can see, I have it right here. It has a .asc extension. Now before we can use this file to verify the installer, we need to import the key of the Tor developers. So here we're going to go to the Tor verify page, and this is the key of the Tor developers right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to import this key using the gpg command. We're saying that we want to import a key from this server, and we're giving it the server that we want to get the key from, and then we're using the receive key argument to receive this particular key. So I'm literally going to copy this command and paste it here. And when you run this command, give it some time. It might actually take up to a minute or two, and it might fail once or twice, so keep trying it until it works. The reason why it might fail is because maybe at the time of you trying this command, these servers would be under a lot of pressure. But as you can see, it worked for me in a relatively short period of time, and I managed to import the key, as you can see in here. So now we can actually go ahead and verify the installer. But before I do this, I want to double check and make sure that I imported the correct key. So to do this, I'm going to use the gpg command again. And I'm going to say I want to get the fingerprint of the key that I just imported. So the fingerprint of this key right here. Again, I'm going to copy it and paste it here. This command will give me the fingerprint of the key, and we're going to compare this to the fingerprint that we have in here. And as you can see, they're identical. And because they are identical, this means that we have imported the correct key. So the last step now is to use the signature file that we downloaded right here to verify and make sure that this installer did not get modified. So before we can do that, we'll need to first navigate to where the installer and the key file are stored. And as you can see, they're stored in my downloads directory. So right now, if I do pwd on my terminal, you'll see I'm in home Zaid. So I'll need to go to downloads. So I'm going to do cd downloads. And now if I do pwd to get my working directory, you can see I'm in home Zaid downloads. And if I do ls to list all of the files and directories in the current working directory, you'll see I have these two files right here, which are the same files that I have in here. So right now I'm basically in the downloads using my terminal. So all I have to do right now is verify this signature. So we're gonna say gpg again, the same command that we've been running, and we're gonna say I want to verify and give it the name of my signature file, which is this file right here. I'm gonna hit enter, and perfect. As you can see, it's telling us that this is a good signature from the Tor Browser developers. So basically what this means is, it means that this signature right here, the Tor Browser package that we just downloaded right here, has not been modified ever since this signature was made. And we know that this signature is valid because we got the signature from the Tor download page, and we also validated the Tor developer keys using the instructions from here. So we can ignore the warning here. The warning here literally just saying that GPG is not able to validate the signature creators, so it wasn't able to validate the creators of Tor, but we know that these signatures are valid because we verified their key with the instructions that we saw in here, and we validated the signature that we got from their web page. So now that we are happy that this package has not been modified ever since it was packaged by the Tor developers, we can go ahead and uncompress it. So I'm going to right click it, extract here, and we have the package content right here. And if we navigate inside this, we have the browser, and this is the binary that you want to run in order to run the browser. So I'm going to go back to my terminal right here. I'm going to clear the screen, and keep in mind, in my terminal, if I do pwd, I'm already in my downloads directory. So if I do ls, you'll see the directory that was just created when we uncompress the package. So we can navigate into this by doing cd tor browser linux, the whole thing. You can actually use the tab to autocomplete. I'm going to hit enter, and I'm inside this directory right here. The next thing I need to do is to go inside this directory. So again, if I do ls, you'll see we have one directory in here. So we're going to do cd tor browser enus. Again, if I do ls, it'll list all the files and directories, and similar to what you see in here, we have the browser and the start Tor browser.desktop. Note that this right here is in green. This means that this is an executable. So we can run any executables in Linux by doing // followed by the executable name, which is start Tor Browser.desktop. I'm gonna hit enter to run this executable, and this will launch the Tor browser for me, as you can see. And in order to connect to the Tor network, all I have to do is just click on connect here. This will connect to the Tor network. It will configure the browser to send all data through the Tor network. And as you can see, I'll get a Firefox window, a browser similar to Firefox. But like I said, any website that you'll go to through this browser will be loaded over the Tor network. So that's it for this lecture. Right now, we managed to install the Tor browser on Linux using a clean and unmodified package. Don't worry about how to use the Tor browser and about its settings. We will talk about that in the next lectures.